So you want to become an actor, huh? Are you thinking about starting an acting career? Well, you are in luck. If that's a big yes for you all, then this video is for you. Hey, for those that don't know me, I am Chad Michael Collins. I am a full-time professional working actor for the last 15 plus years in Los Angeles, California here. I've been on I've been on some stuff. Shows like Blue Bloods, NCIS, Once Upon a Time, Creep Show. I'm the lead of Sony Pictures' Sniper franchise, playing Brandon Beckett, Alex in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Warzone, and Call of Duty Mobile. So in this video, I'm going to outline some of the must-do action steps to take when you're starting out as an actor, looking to build a career in television and films. So what I've learned over all these years is that every path to an acting career is totally different. You know, there's the traditional route where you can get started young. You could get started in high school. You're talking about, drama club and doing productions in high school, maybe taking that theater degree in college and university and exploring that end of things. Me personally, I took a really unconventional route, which I laid out in my last video, which I'll put here or wherever those videos go. I started working in the industry in Los Angeles, the entertainment industry. I started working alongside of a Hollywood publicist. I branched out as we started doing talent management together. In the meantime, I took classes on the side. So I worked full-time in the industry, and then part-time I was exploring and building an acting career until that took off enough where I could commit to it full-time. But the important thing is that, with an acting career, you just got to get started. And, ideally you do that with a plan. What do they say? Failing to plan is planning to fail. And we don't want that. And an acting career is a tough go. So we want to make sure we're as prepared as possible. So I'm going to lay out some things here for you to kind of help you get started on that path. So in this video, I'm going to give you the big 5 things to consider when you are starting an acting career. Number 1 is training. Number 2 is location. Then we want to go into number 3, which is your brand, your type as an actor. Then of course number 4 is acting materials. You can't do anything without acting materials. And then finally number 5 is networking and putting yourself out there. And I've got a 6th bonus tip for you at the end, so let's dive into them. All right, so tip number 1, training. Now, there are lots of ways and places to train, but first we got to consider the end result. Work backward from the goal. What kind of career do you want to have? I can talk to you about TV, film, and video game acting, but that's a question to answer for yourself. So I'm going to focus on TV and film acting. So the number 1 thing you got to do as an actor is to, of course, study. You got to take classes, acquire those skills. If you want to do TV and film as an actor, then you're probably not going to want to sign up consistently for classes that are, geared towards theater, because like a Sam Shepard stage play monologue is awesome, and it's great acting work that you can practice, but that's not going to be as helpful for you in the long run when you've got an audition for a sitcom. It's just the wrong tools for the job there, so to speak. So find a class that uses TV and film material that you can continually work with and study and practice, because obviously there's so much about the different genres in TV and film, TV in particular. There's a single camera comedy versus a sitcom, which is a 4-camera comedy. An action film is going to have a different feel than, a period piece or an indie drama or stuff like this. So there's a lot of ins and outs and technicalities you need to learn that is particular to the medium. So find a class that is going to use those materials and train yourself up using them. Also, when you're training, eventually when you get good enough just becoming an actor for the sake of becoming a good actor, you're going to want to merge into audition technique. Richard Dreyfuss, I think, had a great quote talking about the life of an actor and how the auditions are the hard part. Being on set is the reward. That's the fun part, and it's much easier. So the bulk of your career, typically for most actors, is going to be spent on auditioning. Getting material, putting your best work forward. Hope you're one of hundreds to be selected for the blessing of actually booking a job. So, you have to master this skill of recording yourself on camera nowadays. The days of in-person auditions that I came up through and with is pretty much gone, post pandemic. So really getting in an on-camera audition technique class is going to be really, really important to you as you go on, because that's going to be the bulk of your work as an actor, and that's what's going to occupy most of your time and your days. And when you get that day or week or month on set, like, that's the reward, that's the payoff. But you got to master audition technique if you want to stay competitive. This tip is a bit of a no-brainer, but it's worth saying. Start watching tons of TV and film. Study actors, study shows, study films. Just watch them. Watch them with the eye from an actor's perspective. See how the shots are set up. See what the actors choose to do, and appreciate their really good work. What stands out to you? What can you steal from them? Quite honestly, in terms of their brilliant performances. Know what's out there. Learn about the different networks, studios, platforms, streaming platforms. Learn what they are. Learn what shows are on them. Make IMDb Pro your best friend for researching who the industry players are, who's doing what shows, what network, etc. Personally, I subscribe to Backstage because they've got a lot of helpful articles for actors all the time. I've been subscribing to them for their wonderful advice. They've got columns by casting directors, agents, industry players, other actors, etc., etc., etc. So that's a really useful tool. I subscribe to a site called TheWrap.com, which is an industry trade. It's an industry insider, tracks the entertainment business. So that always kind of keeps me up to speed on what shows are being greenlit, what shows are being canceled. What are the new networks, what are the new people on the platforms running the shows, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's great to be expanding your knowledge base about the industry at large, while also watching a lot of TV and film, so that you always have a sense. Get an audition for a television show, you never heard of it. Well, it's good to be aware and then go watch an episode, or maybe you've already watched the episode. So you're like, oh, I know exactly what this show is. And that's going to really help you as you go in your acting career as well. All right, so we've covered training. I'm going to move on to tip number 2, which is location. Now, New York City, Hollywood, these are the dream locations, right? Major hub for acting activities, lots of stuff going on here, but also a lot of actors wanting in on the action. So I'm going to ask you to stop. Where are you right now? Is New York City and is Hollywood the best place for you to start as a beginner? I've talked to a lot of actors who have wanted to get an acting career started over the years, and my number one advice that I give them is to literally try and be a star where you are. Cut your teeth where you are to gain experience, work on becoming a bigger fish, perhaps in a smaller pond if you're not in New York or Los Angeles or Atlanta, etc. Do that first. Build up your experience, build up your credits, work on as much as you can where you are or close to where you are before making the brutal move to an expensive city with the cost of living through the roof and 10 to 100 times more actors competing against you out there. Maybe it makes sense to get started wherever you are. And I think what a lot of actors don't know is there are films and productions shot all over the USA. Many of these states have really, really great tax incentives that are indie film friendly. Sometimes the major studios go and grab some location stuff in some other states that are outside of the New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Georgia realm. So, my advice is to poke around. Most states have a film commission. Get a sense for what activity is passing through your area or in a nearby city, in your home state. Are there agencies there? Maybe there's a small boutique agency you can sync up with before you try to go make a leap and go to the competitive markets first. Are there local filmmakers? Are there local groups that you can get in touch with to kind of put your finger on the pulse of what's going on where you are right now? So that's my general advice about location, is to Well, learn about your location first. If you want to work in an acting career, build an acting career in TV and film, poke around your own home state, your own home city. Maybe there's a local university, colleges that are doing student films as a way to kind of cut your teeth and get your feet wet when you're just starting out. But I would explore thoroughly where you are first before just going in completely green, as they say, inexperienced into one of these really saturated markets. Now, LA's awesome. New York City, Atlanta, obviously there's more going on there, but there's also very experienced actors there who are hustling and grinding sometimes for years and years, and if not decades on end, that are going to be your instant competition. They're going to have the best training and classes there, but maybe there's a way you can train with a coach or a teacher from New York or LA or Atlanta and do it remotely, at first, just to get that great wisdom and get some experience and some training under your belt. So making the jump to one of the bigger markets, you might want to slow your roll a little bit and just kind of consider, what are the perks and benefits of where I am right now, build myself up as much as I can, and then maybe make a transition over into one of these really, really great, big, fun markets. So the third tip that I have when you're just starting out an acting career is to really dive into the brand and type work. By that I mean, if you don't know who you are or what you bring to the table as an actor, how is anyone else supposed to know what to do with you? So, learning your personal brand or type, which is basically your actor essence. When you walk into a room, when you first appear in front of a camera, what are the immediate assumptions? What is the energy that you give off? For an actor to understand that about themselves and to embrace that, make that crystal clear, really helps people in the industry to know what to do with them. So much of this stuff can be a bit cookie cutter. If you look at a television show, the roles that they need on a television show, it's really plug and play. We need the, stripper with a heart of gold. We need the, a cop who's shady on the side. We need, someone who is a homeless vagrant. So it's really, a lot of the roles come down to just plug and play. So knowing your brand, your type, your essence, what you bring to the table, it really helps people figure out the puzzle, see where you fit so they can just kind of plug you in. Things to consider. And, are you leading actor, leading role? Are you leading man, leading woman, leading person to play lead roles? And that comes down to a look, an energy, a vibe. Are you more of a character actor, more of a chameleon, a Steve Buscemi type or something really fun like that? And this is where it really pays to, you got to be honest with yourself as an actor. Really, don't lie on your resume. Don't lie on your IMDb profiles. Don't fudge credits. And don't lie in your headshots. If someone's looking for a fit athletic type or something like this here, and you're not that, it doesn't do anyone any good if, that was you 10 years ago. So it's really important to be brutally honest, which is very hard to do. Egos are at stake. We don't always want to be honest with ourselves. But when you're doing the brand type work, it's really crucial that you get out of your own way and just really figure that out so that you have a much easier time as you journey in your acting career. Another thing to consider is, what genre speaks to you? Are you more of a comedic goofball? Or are you more of a, stern, serious, sober actor who's going to lean more into the dramatic types? Some people really love the wacky comedy, the high-stakes comedy, the improv type of stuff. And that's great. I think that's really awesome for you to know about yourself. But some people really want to dive into the character work, something layered and stuff like that. So, that all kind of comes with the territory. How do others see you? What is the vibe you've gotten all your life? What is the vibe when you walk into a Starbucks or even in an acting class? So another helpful thing that I have done over the years is to, I guess it's called develop a log line. If you take a branding class, and there's lots of them out there from people who know this work very, very well. I've done them myself. A log line is basically, what I used to hear a lot when I first started out was like, you look like Matt Damon. You look like Mark Wahlberg. You look like Sam Worthington. And the soldier, all-American type is kind of what I always got branded as. So, you lean into it. It's like, hey, I'm Chad. I'm a Matt Damon meets Mark Wahlberg in like a Band of Brothers type of. That's like a log line. I'm this plus this in this kind of a genre sort of setting. If you can start doing that basic work for yourself, it'll be really helpful, because you'll know the projects you're going to gravitate towards. Other people are going to know what to do with you. I tend to do more of the all-American type stuff, leading man type stuff. I'm lucky to play a lot of leads. But, for me, it's the thinking man soldier. It's not the grunt who gets thrown in there and torn to pieces. It's kind of like more the captain leadership role. I play a sniper for Sony's sniper franchise, and snipers are thinking man soldiers. There's so much they have to do and calculate. So that's kind of an energy and essence that I've always give off, and it reminds me of there's an old-timey actor named Peter Falk, and your parents might know this, but there's a show called Columbo where he's an old grizzled detective in a trench coat and fedora, this, that, whatever else. He had some sort of quote about acting and an acting career where he was talking about the beauty of being typecast, which, a lot of actors would reject that term, but, being typecast is, this is who you are as an actor, this is what you do really well, and we just kind of plug you in and let you play that over and over and over. And he talked about the beauty of embracing that, because you're always going to work as an actor if you lean into your type and know that about yourself. I have a story that I think is really, really cool that kind of highlights this. So I booked a lot on the network CBS, which is, it seems to be my home on television. I love those shows. I've worked on Blue Bloods, NCIS New Orleans, MacGyver. I have lost track, Two Broke Girls. I've lost track of the CBS shows I worked on. It's the bulk of my television credits, actually. But I remember years ago when Breaking Bad was taking the world by storm, I got an audition to play this role, and there wasn't many details. But you could tell he was a bit of a bad apple, but not in your face like. So it was very character driven and very subtle. But Breaking Bad, AMC network, if anyone's watched that show, they want really gritty, realistic, almost character-y type of people, The feedback from the casting office was always like, we want real people. Real. Wherever in New Mexico, people are actually going to look like on average. And you saw that, There was certainly attractive people on that show, but most of them were very gritty, very real, very grounded, from the lead all the way down. And fantastic actor, because that was the universe, that was the world of Breaking Bad. It was very gritty and very real, but just absurd, insane circumstances kind of thrown in there, and how these people handled that. So I auditioned for this role. I think it was one of the final seasons, and there's an actor named Jesse Plemons who actually got the role, and I think he was from Friday Night Lights. He's gone on to have an amazing career. I just saw him in Power the Dog, not too long ago, but he killed it. He was a bit deranged, he was a bit creepy, but he was very subtle, very calm, very monotone, but also did heinous stuff without the blink of an eye. And I'm like, he killed it. Like, he was amazing. I didn't fit well into that universe because I tend to play more, commercial, all-American stuff like this. That's why I fit on so many roles, playing cops, soldiers, whatever, on CBS network. But I didn't fit into the Breaking Bad role, and that's a guy who could lean more into the character-y stuff, who absolutely smashed the role. So, and he's made a career of that now. So anyway, just a little bit of a personal tale of type, branding, essence, and knowing what worlds you fit into, and paying attention to that. And, if you want to work, lean into it as hard as you can, book as many jobs as you can as a result. There'll be time to step out and break the mold on other projects later. Next tip is all about materials. We're all just material girls in a material world. No, I mean headshots, a resume. You're going to need a reel and footage to show people over time. We're an on-camera medium, so your work on camera is going to be something people are going to want to see. So, as a beginner, you're starting off, you're not going to have any footage probably. So, that the best thing you can do is to, what I said before, become a master auditioner and use a killer audition tape as your calling card until you have real on-set footage that you can really start showing people, you know. And I'll just, this is a cautionary tale. If you're gonna put an audition as and use that as your reel, if you put it online, Vimeo, whatever, private link. You know, we live in an NDA world. The number one taboo of actors is don't put your auditions online, because that material is very, very private, and everyone is trying to stop leaks in this digital piracy age. So, but it's gonna do well when you go to your first agencies, when casting directors want to see what you can do. You know, have a great audition, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever it is, where you're actually doing TV and film material. You can use that as your calling card until you get some real footage under your belt, and that's going to suffice just fine. Everyone understands as a beginning actor, that's what you're going to start with. So, but in terms of the materials, you know, focus on, you know, you got to build experience, credits, you know, and a presence as well. You know, be findable. IMDb. Make sure you have a profile on IMDb. It is the industry standard, for better or worse, for just getting looked up any time people want to find who you are, what you're about, to place to have everything. Your credits are there, pictures are there, and you can control that. Any footage you want to put, you can put up there too with an IMDb Pro account. Obviously, Actors Access is going to be crucial for you. That works the same way. That's the company. That's, if you do sign with an agent or manager, that's going to be the website where all the casting notices predominantly come from. So you have to have a profile and all your materials up on there too. Have a website if you find that useful. It's not always necessary, but I have one. I think it's a great catch-all for me, with a bio, resume, headshots, pictures, news, updates, you know, you name it. I have all my reels up there as well via IMDb. Be findable on social media. You know, a lot of people have learned to embrace that. I use social media as a really powerful tool for my acting career, and I'll do videos about that down the road. Vimeo is an option as a place to upload your reels. YouTube, don't ever do it. You'll get copyright infringement and flags. When YouTube was young, I put my reels on there and they got flagged and canceled and blacked out, just because, you know, that's other people's copyrighted material, so that's not a great place to host that sort of stuff. So that's it, you know. Obviously, you're going to need to book a headshot session with a professional photographer. You know, don't do it yourself on an iPhone. Look up people. Look up great photographers. There's people that, you know, hopefully would work within your budget range. Find great headshots of other actors that you love and say, this is what I'm going for, man. Can we get this? Again, the resume will come over time, but, you know, look online. There's lots of templates for a proper actor's resume, and if you're on Actors Access and stuff like that, there's a printable resume just from the data that you input there. So starting out as an actor, you're going to need to acquire materials, do what you can on your end to keep adding to the resume, adding to the real footage, building your credits, etc. All right, now we're on to networking. This is getting plugged in. This is getting yourself out there, connecting with other people in other ways for your acting career. A great place to start to network is with your acting classmates. All the time, people in acting classes are creating their own content. They're putting their own stuff together. So being able to add value to them and be a part of their projects is a great place to start when you're beginning an acting career. You can join Facebook groups. You can find people on there to collaborate. There's tons of groups. I'm a member of probably a dozen or more that connect actors, filmmakers together. You just got to search for them. They're out there. A lot of casting directors have massive groups where actors connect all the time. A place to share your stuff, a place to learn about other actors, a place to reach out to filmmakers. Of course, there's always workshops with industry professionals. You know, you can attend film festivals and conferences. Again, the Film Commission in your state or where you are right now might really plug you into events, guest speakers that are coming through town, etc. You know, here's a big one, and I don't know if this is as legit as it used to be anymore, but I always recommended people would intern or volunteer, you know, casting offices. When that used to be a thing and people used to come in person, they needed all the help they could get. Maybe there's an agency around you that could use a free set of hands, free set of eyes to help with everyday things where you could just kind of learn by association by being in the office, devoting a day a week whatever you can afford to do there. So that's a great way to do it. If there's films, student films or otherwise happening in your area, maybe you want to be a PA and just get some on-set experience and see how the process unfolds and kind of offer your talents and services and sweat equity on that end. Really this is about, you got to focus on the learning and gaining experiences, and not making it about the money when you're starting out as an acting career. It's expensive to be an actor. There's a lot you're going to have to come up with. There's a lot you're going to have to invest in it. I've covered a lot of them already here, but as best you can, try not to make it about the money. Try to make it about gaining the experience and building that wealth of knowledge on your end. And my other piece of advice on this is, you can, but also it's not necessary to worry about getting representation right away out of the gates. That'll come over time. Really, in this digital landscape that we live in now as actors, it's never been easier to be your own agent, to be your own talent manager. Having an agent is great, but maybe there's not one in your area, or you don't have enough credits where they think they can help you at this point in your career. But there's tons of things you can do for yourself. You can submit yourself online. You can get plugged in through these back channels, connecting with people on social media, stuff like that. So going right for an agent, you have to understand agencies run a business. They're there to make money, and they love the clients that they work with, but everyone has to see the potential to, basically win together. So if you're just starting out in an acting career, I would not stress so much getting an agent. If you can, that's fantastic. They might have you come in, read a monologue, and love what you do. However, it's not as necessary as a first step. That'll come with time. When you have something to show them, when you can make business sense for them to be like, hey, I came off booking this show. I'd love to explore working together. Then they're leaning forward. That's the best time to focus on that. But when you're starting out from scratch, the old conventional wisdom used to be, if you don't have an agent, you're never going to get any work. Well, we've kind of in this digital age blown the doors off of that old model, and it's easier than ever to do that. So don't stress yourself out trying to push for that hard from the beginning. This brings us to a bonus tip, which kind of fits in the networking category, but it's connecting and collaborating. Following other actors and industry experts on social media. This is huge. It's such a great tool, social media, and it's really been instrumental in helping me in my career and run my acting business. So, actors, connect with other actors on socials. Stay in touch with them, especially if you worked with them before. You never know when you can help each other out on future projects that they know about. A lot of actors are putting really great content out there as well. My friend Sam Valentine does a podcast called One Broke Actress, where she brings all sorts of industry people in and charts her journey, as an actress, hustling in Los Angeles, much like myself. Victoria Atkin, who is a good friend and a former co-star in a show we did called Extinct. She has really hit the ground running in performance capture, motion capture, voiceover work, stuff like that. She does all sorts of ongoing classes, podcasts, stuff like that. To connect with her would be really useful if that's the arena you want to go in. I discovered a great person on YouTube called Kurt Yu. He offers lots of industry and acting tips and advice, more centered around the Atlanta area, which I think are fantastic. I love his videos, and he's got quite a following. So those are actors that are out there to connect with and to consume their content. So many casting directors are putting out great stuff through their social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube sometimes as well. I follow Sam Stiglitz, who I believe used to cast a show called Pretty Little Liars for many, many years, amongst many other things. She's got great stuff on The Daily. Lisa London as well, who just came out with a book, link below if you want to check out that book. She's got great stuff out there all the time. So many more casting directors are offering tips, advice, guidance. It's great to connect with them. It's hard to not have casting director relationships and make it as an actor, so the more you can network and connect with casting directors, that's going to be huge. They are the gatekeepers oftentimes for finding work in the beginning of your career. There's producers, there's directors out there. My good friend Ryan Little, who we did that Extinct series with, and are collaborating on future projects together. He's a director, but he does a great podcast where he talks to other actors, filmmakers, producers, directors, writers, etc. He's out there to connect with, and I know he's very actor friendly. There's a manager called Brian Medavoy. So agents and managers are putting content out there. There's a column on Backstage called Secret Agent Man. An anonymous agent just kind of offers tips from his perspective. Brian Medavoy offers things. You can subscribe to a newsletter. I think his stuff is really valuable and really great. So there's coaches. I trained with Sarah Mornell, John Rosenfeld, Leslie Kahn out here. They all have an active social media presence offering great stuff. Amy Jo Bergman, who I adore, her content, her courses, and her workshops. Hopefully we'll have you a nice collaboration with her down the road. But I've taken all her stuff. I've coached with her and trained with her as well before. She offers amazing, empowering stuff for actors. So social media is a tool. Connect, collaborate on social media with industry types, fellow actors and all the way through. And the one tip I would strongly suggest is, and that goes into networking and whatever else, the key to networking, and I know it's a dirty word, and I know actors can tend to be real desperate and needy, and everyone is kind of like, hi, I don't know you. Why don't you give me some stuff? I was like, well, why should I? That's not how it works. Really, the key to always keep in mind when you're collaborating, you're connecting, when you're networking is to offer some value. All right? If you're following people on social media, they're putting out great content that you found useful, to like, share, comment, promote it. If you find it useful, they're taking their time to offer amazing stuff out there for actors like us to take advantage of. So to be able to support that is the best way you can connect and collaborate and network, and it won't go unnoticed. So have good intentions, be authentic in that, and support. The more value that you offer, the stronger your connections are going to be, and that's just a general rule. So like I said, there's literally dozens, if not hundreds of ways to get started with an acting career, and I gave you 5 tips and a bonus tips on how to really get cracking. The key is carpe diem, seize the day. You got to just get started. It's going to be much easier if you have a plan. Maybe you want to pay attention to these tips and start to formulate a plan for yourself and consider them. So hopefully you found those helpful. I am really wanting to bring more acting career, acting tip, acting business content to you all. I love paying it forward. I love being able to share what I've learned in the many, many years I've been hustling and grinding in this industry. So I'm pushing on the path to partner on the YouTube here. So I want to bring more. They're a little bit time consuming, but they're a lot of fun to offer these videos. So if you found this helpful at all, Lyco Sush. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna hashtag this. I'm gonna make this a thing. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you found this helpful, just a little bit of Lyco Sush goes a long way. If you want to check out some of my acting lifestyle videos, I'm gonna have them here, and you can just click on them at the end of this video. Here, there's a playlist where I kind of take you behind the scenes through my experience of going to San Diego Comic-Con last summer, which is a place that I love. 3 days of that madness. I went to and appeared at EGX, the Electronic Gaming Expo in London last fall. I did a video on that when we were filming Sniper 10 over in the wonderful country of Malta. I took you behind the scenes on exploring Endina, the walled city, created in 1400, so that was a lot of fun too. So, a lot of really fun acting lifestyle videos. Of places I've been able to go, places I've been able to see, people I've been able to interact with. So check those videos out if you're interested in that. But yeah, more acting videos, tips, advice, career knowledge that I'm trying to share with you to come. So please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, fellow actors, if you found some value in this. And thanks for watching. If you're about to start a new acting career, I wish you all the success on your journey. I'll be offering a lot more stuff that hopefully you'll find helpful and useful as you navigate this fun pretend player landscape. So we will see you on the next one, aspiring actors. Thank you.